Hi guys, Cryptogasm here for Cryptogasmic. Right, let's get into today's market update for Bitcoin, February 3, 2018. So I'm going to try and fly through this as quickly as possible today. Really good to see that we're seeing a lot of green back in the alts. Litecoin, 21%. Sorry. Here we go. Let's change it. Yeah, so a lot of green happening today, which is great. So let's get into where we are with Bitcoin at the moment. I really do feel like we may be able to start looking to trade some alts again over the next few days, the next coming week. So with what's been happening with Bitcoin just now, again, as per my video yesterday, it's really important, guys, that we look at this in the big picture. All right, we had a parabolic rise here from all through 2017. All right, we went from $740 to $20,000. Right, it's really huge, and you can see this trend has just gone up and up and up and up. So for those of you who understand the emotional cycle of how markets work, you also understand. Let me just pull that up for you. Let me just pull it up. Okay. So that's the way that a market cycle works, right? And it repeats itself over and over and over again. And it goes through this whole wave of emotion, from hopelessness, disbelief, depression, anger, through to an impulse of hope, optimism, euphoria, and then all the way back down. So I think that we've got to sort of zoom out and look at the big picture of Bitcoin, at what's been happening. So if we look at the emotional chart and then look at what's happening here, this really was expected. And the fall is not really that parabolic either, to be brutally honest with you. All that's really happening here is all the people that chased it through here are being washed out. Now, that's what markets do. Now, we had a lot of future shorts contracts closing. We had a lot of bears and bulls fighting against each other. And I'm quite satisfied at the levels that we've found here. If we do a quick little fib just on this run, okay, we seem to be holding the 78.6, 78.6, sorry, just on this run here, which is only a small cycle of the big cycle. But the way I'm going to look at Bitcoin now is putting the smaller cycles together, and hopefully we're looking to finish a major cycle. So this is going to play out one of two ways. We're either going to continue a complete new cycle, okay, which could look something like this. Get a bounce off of here, and we start to get our new cycle going up and up and up like this. One possibility. Another possibility is that we're still got to finish this cycle, and then we've got the other side of the cycle to, well, I don't want to say look forward to, but is going to happen. All right. Now, this is why it's so important in crypto, guys, as to where you buy something. I've still got no doubt that Bitcoin's going to go to 40,000, 60,000, 100,000. But it's going to get there in steps and stages, all right? So when you get a parabolic rise like this, okay, you can see the trend of this from 2017. So even following the trend, even this downfall now is still above the trend for the last year of Bitcoin. And we're managing to hold this trend. So let's look at the possibilities of what can happen here. Right, let's have a zoom in and have a bit of a look. Okay. So as you can see, the market, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, but we're constantly making lower lows, lower highs, And I think we had some squeeze plays in here. You can tell by these big candles down, and we've dropped. So I do think where these large wicks are and this move here, we're now going to get another bump run up. But I do believe that one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to get back up to this 14,000, 15,000 and we're going to continue on, or we may start to break down. And if we break down again through this trend line, then we may see the complete finalization of the market cycle, and then a new cycle will start, which may take us back up to 30,000. So looking at the daily chart, so I've sort of, while we were going through this rundown, I was really looking closely on the small time frames, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, the hourlies, just to really watch what was going on and try to pick up some buys around that $8,200 mark. I think I posted out to the group, I thought around about 8,200 was a good place to buy some, which has turned out to be right. So if we have a look on the RSI, right, the daily is now starting to turn, which is a really good sign. And we can see as Bitcoin starts to move, our alts start to move as well. So if we start now looking at some of the bigger time frames, we've been on the floor for a bit. Even the 3-day now is starting to turn. The weekly is on the floor. So it looks like Bitcoin is building some momentum again over the longer time frame. All right. 12 hours already getting strong. All right. So it's looking more positive today, isn't it? It's pretty clear to see. All right. So if we have a look at this trend that we've been following, I do think that maybe we might get one more little rundown. What will happen, guys, is, right, I want to take you back a few years back here. And I've been showing this in some of my classes lately. All right. We had a huge run here and a long run down here before our new cycle started to take off. All right. So this ended in, let's have a look. So from here down through to here, 679 days, so 2 years. All right. Of down, up, down, up. And if we measure even some of these runs back up, there's 50%, 60% runs up. But we continue going down. So we cannot be fooled. And then we made another trend up, didn't we? Through here. Until it was broken by a new trend, which is the trend we're in now. Okay. So I'm classing this cycle really is from about this point, 566, is where we took off in stages, up, down, like a staircase all the way up. All right. But if we look back at this cycle here, you can see we found a retrace of 88.3. Okay. And it made certain moves down, and then it made 50% moves up. Then it made a long run down, another 50% run up, long way down. And this is why it's so important to keep your emotions in track. Lots of 50% runs. So let's look at the possibilities of where we are now, judging on history and just how basically cycles work. Okay. So let's have a look. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are actually completing a cycle. We got to sort of think, where can this thing go? How far can it fall? So if we just do a fib on the whole run, right? I mean, it's even from down here. But our new trend sort of started from here. So let's do it from here. So an 88.3 is going to bring us down, retesting the 3,000 mark. So you got to keep in mind, guys, that that really is one possibility. Now, it's not going to fall there overnight. Okay, it's not going to fall there overnight. And this is why I always sell. When in these big panic bottoms, there's no need to sell. You're going to get a bounce back up, and we're starting to see that now. And finally, we're getting some of the longer time frames to turn on the RSI, which is really important. We've tagged the 200 moving day average. So there's some pretty good signs there. So where can we go on this? So if we have a look at where we can go on this, we could probably look to find resistance either here or maybe on this top here. So these are the areas that I'm looking to run up to now with our support and resistance levels in between. So we might do something like this, you know, and crawl our way back up. But at this point, one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to tag the trend and continue on, or, sorry, let me just delete that, or we're going to make our way up, we're going to get a run up, and then we may see this bleed down. Okay, which is really within the realms of a market cycle, guys. Right? It's not a markets are bubbles. When you hear people, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. Yeah, it's a bubble. Of course, it's a bubble. It's always a bubble. If you buy here, you're going to hate this bleed all the way down. All right. So this is why it's so important to teach you not to chase. Don't be the 90% that lose in this game. Okay. So all those people who are panic selling in here, right, trying to get rid of it, I was looking to buy. As I told you, I sent more money across to the exchange. I bought some spot coins at about 8,200 with a stop loss at 8,200. And I'm going to try and make some money on this run back up. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Right. So at some point, you really do have to prepare that this may get a complete rundown. It could take a month. It could take 2 months. It could take 3 months. It may not fall that far. It may do a 50% retracement where it's gone to here 61.8, 78.6. But you got to be prepared for it. This is not really the side of the trade where you want to start buying. All right. If you're already in and you missed your sell opportunity up here, this is why I was telling you not to sell. If you didn't get your opportunity to sell, I think you're going to get another opportunity soon to sell here. And when we get into this area, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. I may get out of it altogether and go to US dollar at this stage, or I may keep riding the Bitcoin train. Now, while we get this run up into this area where we're definitely going to meet some resistance somewhere. Remember, guys, if you haven't learned the lesson that everything doesn't just fly to the moon, then you're going to lose again. So if you got your fingers burnt by several ways, by chasing this and buying in this area and then panic selling it here, right? Don't buy the highs and sell the lows, guys. You've got to do the opposite. You've got to buy the lows and sell the highs. So the trick is to find out where are those highs, how do we protect our capital, and I think if this was going to bleed down even more, it probably would have started to happen a little bit more faster. So we just need to see. We've got to try and make some money on this ride back up. All right, we should be able to, you know, at least 70%, 60, 70% into here. Even if we get up to here, we're looking at 90% trade on the way up. So there's money, but we've got to be careful, because if this is a complete ABC breakdown, okay, we're going to be looking at something like this. We're going to be looking at something like here. This will be the fake move, complacency that gets everybody, and then we could see this. And that is well within the realms of a natural market cycle. So the exciting thing about this is that we have all of this opportunity to make money. And we don't really want to be in this side of the trade. So I'm not looking to really re-enter Bitcoin heavily at this stage, but I do think that with this run, we're probably going to see another rally in the altcoins, because as you know, when Bitcoin's running and the money comes back in, alts are going to start to pump. But what's going to happen is one of two things. People are either going to get burnt chasing this again, but I'm going to make sure that the guys in our group don't get burnt, right? Because hopefully you know now not to chase it, right? And we'll either get a bounce and an extension, which will then take us on to that 20, 30, 40, 50,000, or we're going to get this run up, we're going to meet resistance, and we're just going to step ladder our way back down. Anywhere between $5,000 to $3,000. And then all that's going to happen is we're going to find a point of depression where nobody wants it, and we're going to get some hope again, you know, and we're going to Elliott wave our way through, and we're going to make money all the way up on this side by buying here, and then we're going to sell the euphoria here. It's what happens, guys. Crypto's not dead. It's not dying. It's growing. I'm going to so many. I'm going to the big crypto event in Acapulco next week. I'm going to a really big one in Puerto Rico in March. There are so many exciting things happening. But, you know, people just, they chase, they follow the news. And I got no doubt that when this does come crashing down on this cycle, it'll be all over the news and how it's terrible and it's died and it's a joke. And however, if you look at the trend overall, we are on a huge uptrend. So it's just really important to know when to get in and when to get out, you know. And then when you sit back and look at the big picture, it's really obvious that where you want to get in and where you want to get out. You don't want to be buying here, all right? So I do think we're going to have a really good opportunity to buy some alts over the next week or two, as long as we hold here. So I am going to be starting to look for some more trades for our paid members in the group. So we can try and double our Bitcoin through some alt trades. And then once we sort of get into this stage, we've got to work out whether this is complacency or whether it's a continuation. If you look back here, right, on this chart back here, as we went up, we came down, we went up, we went up, we went up, we came down. This is probably a point where this could have easily broke down, but it didn't. It didn't become complacent, and it made the same kind of moves that it's making now, guys. Look, parabolic run up, it's come down, it's bouncing back up, it's coming down. So we're kind of in this area now as to, we're going to get the bounce up, but are we going to continue like this, or are we going to break right down? We're only going to know that when we get there. We're only going to know that when we get there. So we got to make sure that we're really, really careful and we play really smart, guys. So I do think around about this 8,000, if you are going to re-enter, we may get one more chance back down here. I probably wouldn't chase it now, but we may get another bounce back down to tag this trend line here around about 8.3. So I have sent some more money to the exchange. I'm going to place another couple of buys around the 8.2 mark. I'll space them out between 7.5 and 8. right? We may get the bounce back down to here and then back up through with some stop losses on. I made a lot of profit up here, so I've got a little bit of room to play as well. And then we're going to try and make some money on this little run up here. We're going to do some alts, and then we're going to have to just check and see. Let's have a quick look at Ethereum while we're here today. I haven't had a look at Ethereum yet today. So let's have a look at Ethereum. And it's the same thing. It's the same parabolic rise. Okay. I mean, even if we're still way up on, no matter what trend you're looking at, we're still way above the trend. So you can expect these things to come down and tag. And Ethereum's doing the same kind of thing. It's come down, it's making it. So again, what is Ethereum doing? Are we just doing we're going to see a pump and then back down to the tag line? We've just got to wait and see. But I do think we're going to have a pretty good run over the next few weeks. Don't fool yourselves, guys, that, have we found the bottom? I see in the group, have we found the bottom? Have we found the bottom? No, we haven't found the bottom. Okay, and if we go back to Bitcoin, right, if this is going to play out as a complete cycle, we're going to find the bottom somewhere around the 78.6 mark, 88.3. Okay, this is where if this thing bottoms, this is where we're going to find the bottom, right in there. All right, so now if we have a look, let me have a look at the cloud and see what we're doing there. All right, so, and you can see it again here. Look, if you look back on the old cycle, very rarely did we ever fall through the green cloud on the daily. Okay, we've got to go right back on this initial move when we fell through the green cloud. And what did it do? It bounced back up, found resistance, and it broke down. So if we're going to follow that same kind of pattern on the daily, we could find this bounce, come back into here, and fall away from there. Okay, so we've just got to be really, really careful on this, guys. Let's have a look at where we can possibly go. Yeah, I mean, this mark here would also. So these are the lines that we've got to watch. That's where we're going to be looking for support and resistance. So I do think we've got a good run now up to, sorry, I got rid of that. Let me just do that again. We've got to keep our eye here as well. Okay, so those are the levels that we're looking at, guys. Testing that 14,000, 15.7. I'd be very surprised if we got back up here. I'd probably be looking in around here somewhere, possibly here, probably, to be conservative. So we're going to recheck this, right? I think we're going to get back up and we're going to start hitting that 13.6, 13.7. Everybody's going to be, yay, 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 it's over. We found the bottom, we're off again. And that's where it's going to catch people out. So don't be caught out. We're going to reanalyze it at that stage. Obviously, I'm going to check it every day and update. But just be smart, guys. Don't buy in the wrong places. Don't sell in the wrong places. I hope you guys listened to me when you were panicking and it was down here at 7.8, not to sell. If you want to sell, sell, but wait for the bounce back up. I do believe we're going to come back up and we're going to challenge the bottom of this cloud at least. Okay? And I think we'll probably see the 5 digits maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Everything's looking pretty strong right now. We've been in the oversold part for a long time. And you can even see on the MACD, right? For a long time, we never got below the histogram. Right? Like, look, back here. So we've been traveling in a real bullish trend for a long time, guys. So this has just got to be expected. And look at it. It went parabolic, and we've come down, and we've hit the floor. But if we start looking at some of these time frames now, we're right on the floor, and we're starting to turn the upward trend on the moving averages. 6 hours already there. There's a little bit of up painting on the histogram. 3 hours already painting up. So it's all about momentum. The 6 hour will hopefully lead onto the 12 hour, which will lead onto the weekly. And, you know, that's what we're looking for. So the weekly is still really up high. So this is what I mean. We may get another chance down. And the daily is still pointing at the floor as well. So we may get another bounce back down to 7.5, 8,000. But I do think over the next month to 2 months, we may get a really good little run on the alts. And so that's going to be our opportunity to make some money, guys. And at that point, then we'll decide whether we continue. You know, we've got to take profits along the way. But all of those who are new to our Cryptogasmic group, welcome. It's really good to have you. That's what's happening with Bitcoin at the moment. And I'll see you all in the chat room. Okay, see you soon.